So blood magic is one of my favorite forms of magic. It is very powerful, and you can use there's limitless ways you can use blood to manifest. And dropping your blood in candles is the candle flame is very powerful because spiritually blood holds all five elements, and fire mixing that with the fire element is very powerful. As I mentioned in a previous video, that fire candle magic is like fire is a very powerful element. It can help your manifestations come fast. So there are many ways you can use blood, and I knew someone who actually used her blood for that time of month on her altar to as an offering to a deity. Now you can use your blood as an offering to a deity, and it's optional if you want to do that when you're evoking or invoking angelic beings. So there are some demonic gods that I had used offering of blood with. Mine, no one else's. A contrary to popular belief of the ignorant things that you hear about those on the left-hand path, and where they're using blood for whatever, or the so-called sacrifice. There's no sacrifice. Now there are people who do not identify as dark pagan or Satanist or Luciferian who would practice blood magic. There are some, maybe a sanitarian, someone would use the sacrifice of an animal, or not that I'm scapegoating them, but maybe there are some people who are in Luciferianism or Satanism that will practice that, and that's them individually, that's their thing. That doesn't mean all of us would do something like that. I'm not into that. I don't believe in using animals, maybe a little bit of blood, but no, I wouldn't really actually think about it. I want to use mine, and nothing bad, because if you were to use your blood in a bad way towards somebody, your energy is going to be attached to that, and I'm sure you don't want that. It will be like haunting you, I guess. So I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know the facts on that. I never experienced that. I never used my blood on hurting someone else. I wouldn't ever. Unless somebody give me a real reason to. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can use your blood to charge sigils. Now, maybe in the future I will make a video on sigil magic, and it's I love using sigils. I love using candle magic and blood magic, and besides sex magic, which you can transmute your sexual energy. So I mean, that's another way to charge your sigils using sexual energy. I do not get in the practice of like masturbation. I'm not into that. I'm into semen retention, so I do not practice that. And in the past, I had, when I started to experiment with charging sigils with with that, and experimenting with sex magic, but I feel that semen retention is a more powerful way of practicing sex magic, because you have all that energy built up, and so having all that energy, you have your lower chakras balanced, your root chakra, your sacral, and your solar plexus chakras are balanced, and it's more better for you to be well grounded to the earth, and it's not just a spiritual benefit, but also mental and physical. But maybe I'll talk about that also in another video. Now, blood magic, you can, after you write down a desire, you can, of course, many would say this is iconic, use your blood, sign your name on it, or you could just burn it alone without signing your name, or both, and that can make it very powerful. Now, it's been a while since I practiced that, but there's limitless ways of manifesting, not just the usual visualizing and you speak it and then it comes to you, and which I personally would say law of attraction in general is air magic and chaos magic. Now, chaos magic is not literally chaotic. There's nothing chaotic about it. You're not placing hexes or curses on people. Chaos magic, the reason why it's called that, from what I understand, is that it's just different various ways of manifesting. You know, so you will see the chaos star, or whatever you call it, and I think that's what it represents. Like, there's just limitless ways of manifesting, not just like the usual like cliches, the usual iconic ways of manifesting your desires. Now, I know I had mentioned that you can use your blood as an offering, and you know that's what I mostly do to a demonic god or a deity like a Hecate, or maybe Greek gods, like some of them, you know. But when you're working with demonic gods, you know, it's, you know, you really don't need their sigil to evoke them or invoke them. You know, you can just like call upon them. They are in the astral, just like angelic beings or any other beings and deities. So it's not much that you had to like really do all this and that. You know, you're connected with them. It's all one energy. So when you are working with these deities they are still part of God, source to all energy, everythingness, nothingness. When we are fragments of it, vibrating our own frequencies. So yes, there is just one God. So they're just these different gods, these god forms or thought forms, you want to call it, that are just vibrating their own frequency, just like we are vibrating our own frequency, even though we are part of God. So yes, there is one God. So, you know, you just think of them, they'll appear. You know, everybody knows that when you astral project, you're there, and what you think about it instantly manifests, because the astral plane, there's no time and space. You know, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You know, we are there. If you understand, like in fifth or sixth dimensional consciousness or density. So yeah, it empowers them. You know, even if you were to like mark your crystals, if you work with crystals and with your blood, it can empower it. You know, I have done that with my amethyst, which is actually the first crystal I have purchased. It's a pyramid amethyst, and I used to carry it with me like everywhere after I got it, but I mostly would carry it with my rose quartz. Now I haven't really put my blood on that, but when you place your blood on an item that's yours, you know, you are marking it as your territory. You know, it's like it cannot be gone. You know, there's nothing that can happen to it. So, you know, I had done that with my one of my guitars, and like a few years ago, and actually like a month ago, you know, I wanted to sell it. You know, I just wanted to get extra cash, you know, before payday. So I went to the pawn shop to sell it, and I just felt the energy of my guitar, like the attachment, like not me intentionally attaching it. I was already like detaching it. I did like detachment, affirmation to let it go. But apparently, I guess I couldn't let it go, because when I went there, I was told I was gonna get like 50 for it, and I paid like 280 for it a few years ago. I guess like 10, 11 years ago. So it's my energy that's attached to it. So I was like, oh, okay. So I told myself before I got there, you know, if I can't sell it, then I'll go ahead and keep it, because I know that I put some blood on it. And before I considered selling it, I actually thought about the time where I put some blood on it, and thinking I probably won't be able to sell it because my blood's attached to my energies with it. And sure enough, that's what happened. I was only to get like, what, 50 for it. So I was like, alright, that's okay. So I took it back home for me, and I got it. Got the strings, changed it for both my guitars, and yeah. You know, it's like having that attachment with your kids. You know, they're your flesh and blood. So there's that spiritual attachment there. You know, now I'm not comparing that with an item, like a material thing like guitar, but I'm just like making an example of how your blood can, you know, create a spiritual attachment. You know, it's yours. You place your blood on it, it's yours. Now, I'm not saying somebody else's car that they pay for, you put your blood on their car and it's just automatic, it's yours. It doesn't work that way. Sorry. Now, some people would, you know, you could get like much blood as you can, whatever amount you want. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be like just a drip. And then you create a sigil, and then that represents your desire. And or a drawing. You draw something as a sigil, because sigils can even be drawings to represent, you know, something that, you know, looks exactly what you desire. Like, you know, it's almost example like the dollar sign, but or the McDonald's logo, which is the M and it's actually fries. It's technically a sigil. There's sigils all around us, so there's could be an entity attached to it, or whatever energy you put in for it. So, you know, you could drip a lot of blood in it, or collect yours, or you can ask somebody else for theirs. And that's if they're willing to do it, if they understand they are practitioners as well. And now I'm not saying transfer blood with somebody, not unless you are a Sanguinarian vampire and practice, you know, getting blood for energy from donors who actually go and get checked. You know, a Crimson Swan, which are the donors for the Sanguinarian vampires. And it's all about getting life force energy. So, you know, it's not a lot of it. It's like what you see in the movies, you know. So, yeah. I gotten information from the Joy Satan site years ago when I first got into that. I'm not into that. I don't really go on that website anymore. I'm not into spiritual Satanism, but you know, there's a lot of information, different ways how to like conjure the demons and the dark angels, whatever you want to call them. And you know, Belial and Astaroth seem to give me information a lot more. And Belial was the one who told me, you know, you don't have to really like do this and that what people say on these websites or other people. You know, we are individuals, right? So you know, you are the magician here. You're the one who can, you know, conjure us whatever what you want to conjure us, you know. And I met somebody who said that what he does is he just visualizes their sigil to invoke them or evoke them or whatever, and don't really have to, you know, get a specific candle color and this and that, which you really don't need a specific candle color. So you could just like call them up, you know, and obviously be respectful to them, like your parent. I mean, why would you want to be demanding and disrespectful to them anyways if you want them to aid you in your life and whatever it is that their purpose is that matches what you desire? So, you know, that's what you can do. He told me that, yeah, you don't have to like use too much blood. You can use your blood as an offering or anything else you can think of, like dedicate a song to them, or maybe if they were clothing, you burn it and that energy goes to them, or food, or incense. So you could think of many ways of using blood as manifestations. Be safe. You don't hurt yourself. Be responsible what you do. What your practice. Be responsible. And don't hurt anybody else. No harming animals. I don't believe in that. I mean, you know, you're an individual. I'm not your dad. I'm not gonna like spank you if you do something. But I do not approve of harming animals. Now, so, you know, think about it. You know, whatever your intuition, your heart goes for, whatever how you want to practice manifestations. You don't have to just jump into something. Take it slow. No, you know, just get your guidance. Ask your spirit guides to guide you and your higher self. Be responsible for what you do. You know? All right. So see you later, and I was happy to make a video on Blood Magick 8th.